my human struggle every day is, how do I get up with hope? How do I get up and move forward in a world so full of injustice, so full of atrocities, so full of, overwhelming need? As a, compassionate, social justice, heart-centered person who wants to do good in the world, and who wants to, be of service and make my impact on this world more positive than negative. There's so many of us who wake up with that imperative. But what does that look like? What does that actually look like in practice? How do we do that when, so much of the time I do want to, pull the covers over my head and go, I can't do this, I can't do any of it. And also not just because the need out there is so great, but because just the human struggle of being alive is sometimes so hard. I am burnt out. I do have PTSD. I do have incredible, financial, emotional toll that gets taken, and physical burnout from doing this work in the prisons, from going year after year relentlessly, running straight into a wall and falling down and getting up over and over and over again. I feel the imperative to do it. I'm glad I do it, but it takes a huge toll on me. How do I wake up when I just want to hide and go, I can't do this anymore? I can't do this anymore. How do I get up and do it again anyway? And how do I connect to the fact that me needing to get up and do it again anyway is exactly the same as these inmates getting up every day and going, how do I keep going? People always ask me, like the question always is, okay, why inmates? Why these guys? Why here? And my explanation is always, depending on whether I want to go deeper or not, something about, me connecting with people and being really haunted with people who are isolated, thrown away by the world. I know what it's like to be a prisoner of mental health. I know what it's like to be so isolated and have no support, and to feel so broken and thrown away by the world that I'm worth nothing, and to have everybody else give up on me, and all those kinds of things. I've explained that shit to death. Those are all rationales. Those are all very, I think, logical and not untrue pieces. But the real answer is, I don't know why. I chose them. I didn't choose them. I was called to do this. That's how I've always felt. I was called to do this. I don't know why. There's way more obvious choices. I have been politically and allied and as an activist towards women, single moms, queer and trans people, anti-racist activism, gender-based violence, sex trade workers, those are the areas that have always been my focus and my interest, and where my heart lies around supporting people marginalized, especially on the basis of sexual or gender identity, all those kinds of things. That's where my activism and training has been. This called me. I didn't pick them. This called me. And it has cost me so much, like financially, emotionally, psychologically. And some days it does feel like a burden that I can't put down. Radical compassion totally eliminates that. This isn't about pity. This isn't about helping those less fortunate. That has a whole other, that has a whole other feel that isn't what I'm doing. For me, things like fundamental, inalienable human rights are just so obvious that that's an underlying ethic of what I do. And I was speaking at the Law 12 class yesterday, and I repeated like 3 times in my first minute, inalienable means it cannot be separated from the fact of being human. It's not human rights are for, oh, right, those rights we got to give to you and these people, oh, and I guess this people and this people. It means you can't separate it from the fact of being human. And this is the radical compassion is I can't separate the fact of being human from how I do this, from why I do this, and from what it means to do this.